Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So in today's video we're going to be learning how to cut a princess bustier, and if this is something you are interested in learning, kindly stay to the end. So let's get right in. So to cut your princess bustier, the first thing you have to do is to rule out the necessary lines for the bustier. And the first line is the shoulder line. For this pattern paper, I'm going to be using the edge of my pattern paper as the shoulder line. Then from there, I'm going to take down the other line, which is the bust line, the under bust, and the half length. After marking out the points, I've gone ahead to rule it with a straight line to identify the points. So on my shoulder line, I'm going to be marking out my shoulder circumference, which is at the beginning of the pattern paper. As I said, I'll be making use of that for my shoulder line. So I'm going to be dividing my shoulder by 2, and I'm going to make a mark there. Afterward, I'm going to bring whatever that I divided downward. So this is a pattern paper and there's no actual measurement that I'm working with, but for the sake of this tutorial, I'm just going to be working with the pattern paper that I have. So after taking my shoulder circumference, you're going to bring down the whatever you took as the shoulder circumference, you're going to bring it down. If you notice, mine was not up to what I took as my shoulder measurement. As I said, I'm going to be working with the pattern paper I have for this tutorial, but when working with yours, when you divide your measurement by 2, ensure to bring whatever you divide as your shoulder measurement downward and then extend the line. Afterward, I went in to take my neck, which is 2.5 by 3 inches, 2.5 width and 3 inches length, and then I marked out the line to get my neck curve. So after creating our neck curve, the next thing is to work on our shoulder slope. So for on the shoulder, we're going to be going down by 1 inch, and then we're going to be slanting it into the neck region. So after slanting our neck region, we are going to divide our nipple to nipple measurement into 2 and then impute it on the bust point, the under bust, and the half length. So after marking out the point, you're going to take your ruler and secure it with a straight line. After doing that, the next thing we're going to work on now is on our under bust. So from the center front, we're going to be going in by 3/4 inch or 1/2 inch, and then at the other side, we're going to be going in by 1 inch or 1.1. So I went in from the center front by 3/4 inch, and at the other end, I went out by 1.1. So whatever I took on the under bust, I extended it down to the half length and then connected with a straight line. So after connecting it from the bust point, I went down by 1/2 inch. This is to enable the bust area not to be too pointy. You can as well go down by 3/4 inch or 1 inch. From the half point, I made a mark and connected it to the 3/4 inch and also the 1.1 inches that I drafted out. Just watch what I'm doing and you will understand. So after connecting it, the next thing that I'm doing is to take out the necessary body measurement. So on my chest line, I divided my bust circumference into 4 and I imputed it there. And also on the waistline, I divided my waist measurement into 4, I imputed it, and then I calculated the dart intake, and then I went ahead to add it back. And then afterward, I connected the measurement from the chest line to the waistline with a straight line. Afterward, the next thing I did was to draw out my armhole curve. Then I went ahead to divide the shoulder line into 2 to find the midpoint. After getting the midpoint, I went in by 1/2 inch, and from there created a new armhole curve. So this new armhole curve will serve as my front armhole, while the other one serve as my back armhole. This is to reduce any bulginess or excess in the front armhole. Now the next thing I'm going to do is to take the measurement of this front armhole. Now from the shoulder point, I'm going to measure it down to where I have my bust circumference divided by 4. Just watch what I'm doing and then you're going to understand. So after taking the measurement, I'm going to go ahead to divide it into 2 just to get the midpoint. From the midpoint, we're going to be creating a curve to meet the nipple to nipple point. So just watch what I'm doing. Ensure to create your curve. I'm just marking it out with a dotted line so that I don't end up making mistake. So from there, you're just going to create your curve like that. From the midpoint, create your curve to meet the nipple to nipple measurement. So I've gone ahead to create my cuff line, and from the shoulder point, you're going to go down by half of an inch and go up by half of an inch. Go down by half of an inch and then go up by half of an inch, and then extend it to also meet that nipple to nipple point. So I have gone ahead to extend my, and I did that with a dotted line so you can see. So afterward, the next thing I have to do is to extend the armhole line. So because we took out half of an inch from both sides, automatically the armhole is already shortened. So to avoid having a shortage when sewing it, we're going to be extending the armhole by 1 inch. So half plus half is actually 1 inch. So that 1 inch we took out, we're actually going to be extending it. So I've gone ahead to extend it on the line below and then also extend it on the armhole measurement. So I had no idea that my camera wasn't recording this, but I hope you guys understand it. After marking out your new armhole line, please ensure to extend it to meet your half length. After marking out your new armhole line, please ensure to extend it to meet your half length. I did this after I was done cutting it. That was when I noticed that I did not extend my new armhole line to meet my half length. So after that, next thing you have to do is to work on the side dart. So I'm going to be going down by 3/4 of an inch for my side dart, and then I'll connect it into my bust point to meet the nipple to nipple measurement line. So to get your side dart, this is the difference between your front half length and your back half length. So when taking out your measurement, you ensure to take the half length measurement for the front and also the half length measurement for the back. So the difference between the half length measurement for the front and the back is what will give you your side dart. So this is it for the drafting of the princess bustier for the front, and now we can go ahead to cut it out. So I've gone ahead to bring another pattern paper for the back piece. Now we're going to be working on the back for the princess bustier. Now the first thing we're going to do for the back is to mark out our zipper allowance. So you can take out like 1 inch or 1.5 inch or 2 inches for your zipper allowance, depending on how big you want it to. And then I'm also going to go ahead to mark out the necessary measurement that I took out for the front. Now for the front, we took out the bust measurement, the under bust and the half length. But for the back, I'm just going to be taking out the bust point and also the half length. I'm also going to be using the edge of my pattern paper as my shoulder line. In other words, for the back, we have the shoulder line, the bust point, and also the half length or the waist length. So I'm going to go ahead to divide my shoulder line and mark out my shoulder circumference, divide my shoulder into 2 and mark out my shoulder circumference, and whatever I got there, I'm also going to extend it down just like we did in the front piece. And remember, like I said, there's no actual measurement for this tutorial. I'm just working with my pattern paper that I have, but whatever you have, divide in your shoulder and make sure to bring it down. Then afterward, extend the line to give you your shoulder line. Afterward, I'm going to go ahead to rule out my bust line and my half length line. I'm going to go ahead to rule them out with a straight line. Then just as we did in the front, I'm going to go ahead to take my neck circumference of 2.5 inches by 3/4 of an inch. So because this is the back piece, I don't want the neckline to be stood down, and then I'm going to go ahead to create a curve with a freehand sketch. Next is to go ahead and mark out our shoulder slope as we also did in the front, and then connect it to the neck region. The next thing we're going to do is to take our nipple to nipple measurement and then impute it on the bust line as well as the half length, and then connect the lines with a straight line. After connecting the lines, I'm going to go up by 1 inch away from the bust point. This is to extend my dart away from the bust point, and because this is the back piece and not the front piece. Then afterward, I'm going to go down to the waistline and then take out my dart, which is 1/2 inch on both sides, and then connect it to meet the extended line just like I'm doing. Having done that, the next thing I'm going to do is to take out my body measurement. So on the chest line, I'm going to divide my bust circumference into 4, and then I'm imputing it there. And also I'll go down to the waistline and divide my waist by 4 and impute it, and also calculate the dart intake and then add it back and then connect the lines together. Afterward, I'm going to go ahead to create my armhole curve. Kindly kindly note that for this tutorial I did not add any sewing allowance on the pattern paper, so you can actually add sewing allowance on the pattern paper, or you do that when cutting on your fabric directly. So now the next thing we're going to do is to work on our zipper allowance. So in order for us to reduce any zipper bugginess at the back, I'm going to be going in by 1/2 inch from where the zipper allowance started from, and then I'm going to be connecting it straight. I went in by 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to extend the line straight up. So having done that, the 1/2 inch I took out from the zipper allowance, I'm also going to impute it back on the waistline to avoid any shortage while sewing it. So at this point, you can decide to work with your back piece like this. This is practically okay. But if you want to extend your dart to your shoulder point, all you need to do is to divide your shoulder into 2 and find the midpoint. From the midpoint, you're just going to rule a straight line to meet the nipple to nipple point. Having done that, we have come to the end of the pattern drafting for the back piece of our princess bustier, and then we can go ahead to cut it out. So this is what our back piece and our front piece is looking like. And if you also notice on the front piece, you see that I extended my line, just as I said, from my new armhole point to meet the half length. So do that also for your own when cutting it out. Don't forget to do that. Alright guys, this is it, what we have for the front piece and also for the back piece. And then when cutting this, all you just need to do is to place your fabric on fold and then cut this out. Place your fabric on fold and then cut this out for both the front and the back. So I hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this video, kindly like, share and subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I hope to see you all in my next video. Bye guys.